son. Who could love that baseball? What a cool, sweet boy. What do you think, bud? You gonna go off? No, hang on, look at that. Look at that old sweet thing. No, well, what do you think? What do you think, huh? Say, what a good boy, what a pretty boy. See, there he is. See, right here. Miss Whitmire.
Hey, Frank.
The Brady Bunch. That is so great.
How are y'all doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Bob's not with us this evening. He was here last night, and he's going to be here tomorrow night, so he's taking a day off. But how are you? There's Joel.
Great.
I love the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing, isn't it?
You know, I have no idea what she's going to do. She drives me crazy.
Oh, buddy. Here's Buddy's going, what's going on? Look at.
Well, Frank, you've changed locales.
I did. I put back into the now that we got the flood over with, and I moved all the furniture around in the main room and cleaned it all up. I decided to just sit back, have it in here instead of the bathroom. So.
Well, it looks nice.
Well, because I told you about the flood. The unit next door flooded, and
Oh, yeah.
so what I basically did is just moved all the furniture into different places in the main room, so it feels like a whole other space, even though it's not. I just rearranged the furniture.
It's like you're in a totally different new place. I love it.
And
I love it.
because the little woman that lives downstairs, my neighbor that lives downstairs, I love, she came up for the debate last week and the debate this week. But last week she came up and Bob said, he goes, you notice Frank rearranged all the furniture. She goes, every time I come up here, it's completely changed.
Nothing new.
I thought to do it that night.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Just kind of keep people guessing?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Do you have a fig tree in the back corner?
It's big, yeah. I've got two of them. One's back here and then one's in this main room. Yeah.
Looks good. I've been thinking about getting one, but I figured I don't know if I'd keep it alive.
Well, when I first got it, I've had it I guess I've been here 5 years, like 4.5 years. When I first got it, the top, it drops all the, you keep it for 3 weeks and then they drop all these leaves. Dropped all the bottom leaves. It was completely full, but the top would look great. The top grew and looked great. Then all of a sudden, I put these leaves out on the bottom and the whole top fell out. As you can see, it used to go all the way to the ceiling. It was 11 feet tall. Now it's not. So I don't know what to do, I thought about replacing it, but they're expensive.
Yeah. Well,
When you get 9 foot tall, basically it's a tree in the house. So, but it does, it's good. It's nice and green, and the one in here is nice and green. Adds a little color. Yeah.
It just takes, hi everybody. Cindy, it just takes, you have to have a lot of sunlight, and you only water it once a week, but you water it thoroughly once a week. And if you get it in the right sun and just leave it, then it should survive. But they're tricky if you can get them in the right sun.
I think what this one and the one in here, it's never done real well, but it's not right against the window. But it looks, everybody comes in, they go, oh my God, it looks great. And I'm like, I don't know if it looks that great. But the one back there, I think what happened is you're supposed to turn them every 2 or 3 months, because when they're facing the sun. Well, I only do it once a year. And I think when I turned it, it went to the shop, and that's when it dropped all the top leaves. So now, there's the company I bought it from, Douglas Riddle has a couple, and they have a girl there that she'll come out once a month and look at it and trim it and do what needs to be done. And that's what I need to have a maintenance person come and tell me what I need to do.
Yeah. The ones I got one. I spent a bunch of money. This is at the showroom. I got one at Nichols and Hardy, and then the other one I got at Home Depot, and they are identical. They're identical, and so
Really?
Yep. Really, they've grown equally, but this is my second round with fiddle leaf figs. The first round they got so tall that we had to get rid of them. They just basically outgrew the space.
Mine grow so slowly. They'll put out leaves in the spring. But then they don't the rest of the year pretty much.
Yeah.
Did you really grow quick?
They grow well. Actually, they're slow growing, but the ones for the first round that I got probably 8 years ago, maybe longer. and got rid of them about a year and a half ago. And then we got more, and they've probably grown. I don't know, Frank, they might have grown a foot or 2 feet in the last year, maybe 3 feet, probably 3 feet in the last year.
That's quick.
And a half, year and a half.
Mine haven't grown that quick, but they will, like in the spring, they'll put out a whole bunch of new leaves. And,
Yeah.
you know, but then they're kind of dormant, and then they'll drop some in the fall, not a lot, but
Yeah,
maybe I forget to, I don't know, I don't probably water them as regularly as I could. The problem is, you know, when I ordered them, I said, I want the big, tall, I said, I've got 12-foot ceilings, I want like a 9-foot tree. She said, we'll get the biggest one we can. Well, you know, so the tree, it wasn't that expensive, it was like $300. But then they charge you $50 to deliver it. Then the pot I put it in was another $350. And then the bubble chips that went in there were another $100. And then lighting it, putting the bricks around it and everything was another $100. So it was about a $750 tree.
and then you had the party to celebrate getting the tree, and that was another $300. And
Well, I had a friend of mine, when I picked up the first one, she came in and she goes, you spent all that money, do you have any idea if you're going to make it live? I said, no, it may die tomorrow. But it had, they do add a lot. They add a lot of color to the space. They really do.
yeah, and they're pretty leaves, and you know, it's yeah.
Well, it reminds me of, this is the architectural tree. It's the tree you see in all the magazines. You know, back when I first got out of college, I was working. It was the ficus. Everybody had ficus.
Oh, yeah.
Now everybody had to have a ficus. I had a ficus. Now it's the Philly figs, but the leaves are so big, and they're so, when they're green, they look great. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I killed many a ficus tree. I don't know how many I bought over
Yeah.
a period of 10 years, and they all died.
Well, they were
They
really.
are finicky. They were finicky.
I was going to say, if you moved it from one spot to the other, it dropped all its leaves.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
just
yeah.
be bald.
Yeah.
Twigs.
Well, you just put a whole bunch of Christmas lights on it and say it's a Christmas tree. That's what I always do.
Yeah, there you go.
So how's everybody doing?
Doing good.
We're good.
Yeah.
So how are the 6 children, Cindy?
Yeah. We're doing okay. Yeah.
My question is, do you remember, can you name them all?
Yes, I think I can. Greg, Peter, and let's see, the boys were Greg, Peter, and Bobby, and the girls were Marcia, Jan, and what was the Susan? No,
Cindy.
Cindy. Yeah, that's right. How can I forget that? I have all of them to forget.
Okay, now name the actors and actresses.
Oh hell, I couldn't tell you that.
Oh, no.
Maureen McCormick, Eve Plum. That's all I can remember. Barry something, Barry William, Barry.
Barry Williams was Greg, and of course Robert Reed was the dad, and what's her name? Henderson. What's her name? Was the mother?
Florence Henderson.
Yeah, Florence Henderson. Yeah. I
Oh,
don't
and
know.
the 2 young ones. I don't remember their names.
I should. You know, it's called TV One. Y'all probably have that channel too. That has all these old movie shows on it. I'm not sure it's on. I may be on it, but I've gotten where I record like Hazel and That Girl and you know all this.
I love that girl.
I do too. And it's got Father Knows Best. That was a good one to watch.
Yeah.
Father always knew the best, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't seen that in forever.
And then at night, at like 10 o'clock here, it does old Johnny Carson's. So I record those.
Oh, I bet that's good.
They're great with people, like it goes back to like the early 70s with people on the Johnny Carson show. It's really interesting. It's really interesting.
What was before it was Johnny Carson, wasn't it Jack Parr?
It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then was it the same show and Jack Parr retired and then Johnny Carson took over? Is that how that went? Or I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah.
Think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when Johnny retired, is that when Jay Leno took it over?
Maybe.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I didn't watch it after he retired. But it's so,
No, Johnny retired eventually after having Buku's guest hosts.
yeah, he did.
And Jay Leno took over.
That's what I thought. because he had Bette Midler for a while as a guest host. He had Jay Leno as a guest host, I think. didn't
He had lots of people, yeah.
And
lots
after
of-
Jay Leno, then what happened? Jay Leno, did the show stop or did that become Jimmy Fallon?
Well, he got, actually, at some point, I forget what order it came in, but Conan O'Brien got put in there.
Oh, that's
And
right.
then Conan O'Brien got taken out and Jay Leno came back in. And then I think it went years later to Jimmy Fallon, who I can't tolerate. But anyway, that's what I think. I don't know.
I watched Stephen Colbert and they're on at the same time, I think, aren't they?
Wait, what, Frank? I can't say it again. I couldn't hear you.
Stephen Colbert on CBS, and then aren't they on at the same time, I think? He and Jimmy Fallon.
Yes, they are, and Colbert is a whole lot, everything he does is a whole lot smarter than everything that Jimmy Fallon does.
He is so fun. And what's weird to me is so fun. I was telling Bob last night, because I recorded, and so we were watching some of them before the debate, and I said, I've gotten so used to him being, virtual that I forget what it was like when he had a live audience. It's been so long that now, because I think he's still so funny, and it's so weird that now that's the norm. The virtual thing is, to me, is the norm. And if he goes back to live audience, it's going to be really odd to me. But it's where we are, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess y'all saw Kathleen. She's got a Boy Scout meeting or something.
Something Boy Scout. Yeah, I did see that I didn't even know about it until she sent the text, or email.
So I got a partner right here behind the sofa with me.
So
Uh-huh.
cute. So cute. Yeah.
But this shows how big he is. I mean, he's just, he's taller than the sofa.
He's happy.
He's not happy because I'm in here instead of back in the TV room. So that's where we're supposed to be. So he's got two beds in here. He's got a bed back there, two beds in here. So he's got plenty of places he can lie down.
Okay, now, Frank, whose fault is that?
Well, I know.
I mean, we know he didn't build the beds. I'm just saying.
Actually, in here he only has one bed, and then he's got this fake fur rug. That's his second. That's his favorite place. And it's right when you come in. Because Steve, y'all remember it. It's sort of right when you come in the kitchen. And unfortunately, he loves all this stuff. I have 12 toys, and I'll take all the toys and put them in the back, and he will one by one immediately carry them and leave them right there. So when people come in with all these toys, no, this
That's
is not
cute.
right. Yeah.
That's-
Hey, Lucy,
Yeah.
Lucy, can I ask a question real quick? Because I've been meaning to ask this for ages. How's Gene Swenson?
I don't know, other than I haven't gotten any calls that he's not okay. Last week they just laid out a plan where I could go see him, but
What is he in the hospital or something?
no, at the Belmont. He's at the retirement. Yeah.
Oh,
At the
right.
Belmont, yeah.
Yeah.
They completely shut the Belmont down, Steve, because they were, they were
yes.
afraid,
Yeah.
all
No,
that.
totally.
Yeah. So, so last week I got, but the way the plan works is you have to test for the virus within 72 hours of going, but you also have to attend they have a protocol meeting that you have to attend that they offer on Tuesdays or Thursdays at 11 o'clock. So, I have to plan the test, but also get into the meeting to get to Gene. It's very restrictive, which I'm glad it is,
No,
but
yeah.
I haven't gotten to work it into my schedule yet. I mean, I'm the only one at the showroom now because Roger is working from home. He continues to work from home and probably will for however long, maybe forever. So I'm the only one there. So if I leave at 11 o'clock, the showroom shuts. It shuts down. I can get him to come in, and I might do that. But the answer to your question is, I think he's fine. I have not heard otherwise. They call me at everything that happens with Gene, which is really great. And they have not called about anything. Now, I am concerned because I just think without interaction with anybody, other than he's got his caregivers there. And, I think that, Gene, while he doesn't adapt well early on, he adapts over the long term. And so he's probably very comfortable and probably, actually pretty happy there. But it does make me sad that he doesn't have any of his family or me or anybody able to talk to him or see him. You know, everybody else there has the ability to hear, so that they can get on a Zoom call, or they can get on a phone call, or they can get on anything.
Oh, okay.
Gene can't do any of that. He can't do
Right,
any of that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
also did a really unique thing where they've got a dining room, a balcony that you can go out to, and they arranged early on for residents to stay in the dining room, and then if you wanted to come visit them, you'd stand out on the patio or on the balcony, and they would like raise the window just ever so slightly, just enough to get noise through, and
Yeah.
you could see them. But Gene can't hear well enough to do that. It
Okay.
would just, I would be sitting across the window going, so sadly for him with his hearing impairment, he doesn't get to take advantage of any of that. Nobody can really communicate with him except those who are there right with him,
So he has no
Does-
hearing? Does he have no hearing, or is it just very, very limited?
Frank, he's got very limited hearing. He cannot hear. He's completely deaf in one ear, and the other ear he wears the cochlear implant. But with that, he gets. I would guess he probably can hear about 25% like you and me, and out of that ear, and a lot of it's lip reading. He does a lot of lip reading. If you're not facing him, he probably really can't understand what you're saying.
When did he have implant? At late age? I mean, like.
Yeah, well, I say late age. Okay, so he's probably 70. I think Gene is 77, 76, 77, something like that. And he probably got his cochlear implant 15 years ago, 20,
Yeah.
maybe 60,
You know, those,
maybe.
my understanding is the implants, like, because my cousin, Ann, lives in the Park Cities with you, has, her two youngest sons were hearing impaired. They both had implants. But they put them in when they were like, well, the first one he was 2, the second one was 6 months old. And they said, because you don't hear like normal people hear in the
No.
so your brain has to just kind of understand things. So I would think as an older person, that'd be really hard to make the change.
Really, yeah, he had to completely relearn and take the what he perceived as noise or sound coming in and reinterpret that as, whatever the word is that reinterprets it. Yeah, I think, Frank, if at a young age, I can see how, well, as a matter of fact, one of his nurses when he was at Baylor had cochlear implants, and she could hear beautifully, or, hear beautifully. Because she'd had hers when she actually got hers, I think, when she was in her teen years. But so she'd had, plenty of time, and she had a younger brain and, all that to adapt to it.
Well, yeah, like,
But
he
he does well for what he's.
They totally assimilated. They're the oldest one's, I think, a senior at Highland Park High School, and the other one's, I think, a sophomore, maybe. The other two guys.
Yeah.
I think Taco John, I think he may have graduated this last year. And they totally had no problem,
Yeah.
But that was because they were put in as, at a very early age. And Tracy, my aunt, said it was really funny that even the youngest, when he was 6 months, when I was done at 6 months, before he could even talk fully, like a year old, if the batteries were going bad, he'd start pulling his ear to let him know that he wasn't hearing right.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, he knew. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, it's a great way for people who are really completely deaf to be able to have some sense of hearing and, be able to communicate. Otherwise that, there's nothing.
There's sign language, and that's.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you do sign language?
I'm sorry.
Do you do sign language? Do you know
No. Mm-mm. No, and Gene doesn't either. Gene can't either. No. Mm-mm. No, the only thing I will say that he has picked up on is the lip reading. And I don't think he would probably, if you asked him, are you lip reading? He would say, no, I don't know how to do that. But I know he does. And I know he does. Yeah. I know that's what he's doing. He just doesn't realize that's what he's doing.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I say, I've been worried about him for a while. So I don't know how often you talk to him or see him. I guess not much these days, but do send him my best wishes.
I will, Steve. I will. I will probably see him. hope I will be able to see him this next week or weekend, or, somehow a combination, somewhere in
Okay,
there. But
because I do wish him well. I've been worried about him, so.
thank you. Thank you. I'll
Thank
tell
you.
him.
Thank you for the update. Thank you for the update.
You bet. Yeah, yeah.
Well, on that high
Has
note.
anybody heard from John?
I haven't. Have you, Steve, talked to John Goins?
Oh, no.
I haven't either.
I meant to send him a text today saying we're on the call, and I just didn't get it done, but
He's on, he gets he's on he gets the
Email.
email, yeah.
well, yes, we all get the email, Frank, but we all also know John, and
Yeah.
John needs a little reminder here and there,
Well, and I can't speak to everybody else, but compared to me, John has a job and he's busy.
Yeah.
He's busy and he has a lot of to do. So that's
Steve,
I
that's an
don't
excuse.
know what he's doing, but he
That's an excuse.
does have things to do
I know.
that don't just fall into 9 to 5. So
I mean, my attitude is I can take an hour off on Thursday night. He can take an hour if he really wanted to. If he really wanted to, he could work it in. He just has other things that are more important right now. So, that's my attitude.
well,
And that's
like
all I'm
I
gonna
said,
say.
he has a job. So
Well, so does Lucy, so do I, so does George, but we can take an hour out to visit with our friends, but, he doesn't want to, that's fine. That's up to him. I figure he'll check in one of these days. I
we'll
will
get it.
say,
We'll get it.
my brother Ben, that's teach as a professor, talked about that it's tough because he's doing online and in class teaching, and it is time consuming. It is time consuming. So.
Well, Frank, speaking of the email, can you explain the picture you sent?
That picture was, yes, there was a weekend at the lake house that was a Hawaiian theme. And Lucy, I think you and I thought that you and, is it Kathleen? I
You
thought
froze. You froze.
what do you mean, froze?
You froze.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, your picture and your audio are freezing up.
Oh, can you hear me now? Take that.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Let me pull that. Is that better? Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, Lucy, maybe it was you and Kathleen did it was a Hawaiian theme. Stephanie Smith was there that weekend.
You're freezing up again.
Oh, shit.
Frank, you're freezing up again.
Let me, well, y'all talk about
You
yourself.
need Todd Weaver Wi-Fi to.
Huh? Is that any better?
Right now it is.
Is
Right
it?
now, yeah.
Uh-huh.
My, I know what I need to do, but it's too late to do it. Anyway. You remember there was a weekend y'all did a Hawaiian thing at the lake.
Well, who is
Yeah.
Stephanie
Wait.
Smith was there, Mary Jane was there. And
Yeah.
I remember Steve talking about the neighbors across the way were saying, y'all were out getting ready to do something. The neighbors called or said something about y'all are making too much noise. He said, we'll be coming. About that time, y'all had this Don Home music come up because y'all were like doing something outside in the yard, singing or something. Do you remember?
I absolutely remember, but I don't remember this picture at all. Is that you?
That's me, and I put on y'all, and we had balloons. I put balloons under my back. Y'all had like
You put a balloon as a bosom.
bosoms, and then of course I'm eating some fried chicken or something. And wait, black wigs, had a black wig and a thing on my head. Yes, yeah.
whose arm is that? Because that is not your arm.
Yeah, it is.
Your arm is not that big. I've got to find.
Yeah.
And that's Jane. Is that Jane in the background?
Stayed in the background. So Steve, do you remember? Because Stephanie was there that weekend, I think, and Jane and John, maybe.
no,
Yeah.
I think so. It's a bit of a blur, but I
That
The
is
girl-
that the, wait.
James is obviously there, and I think Stephanie was there too that week. I don't know. That was a long time ago.
Okay, who is the girl next to you in the picture, in the blue
That's
shirt?
Mary Jane. That's
Mary Jane, okay.
Mary Jane Boyd. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I just remember I put the balloons in there, I put on y'all still, and your wigs. Y'all had these black wigs.
Yeah. I wish we still had them. I don't know where they are. I sure wish we still had them. I'd wear it. I should have worn it tonight.
I don't. Was that the weekend that I did a
Look at
pinata?
Steve. Steve.
Look at Steve.
I'm
Lord
sorry.
office.
Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves.
Steve, some things we don't grow out of.
That's
Wasn't
right.
that the weekend too that you had?
No, something we can't get old enough to escape. That's,
There you go.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
we try as we might, but we just can't.
Well, next time we take a trip, just be ready.
Right.
Yeah. It was a fun weekend. That's all I remember. And I don't remember when it was. I just remember all those people were there.
Well, isn't that the weekend, Frank, that you fell out of the canoe and held everything went under except for your glass of
No,
whatever it was, beer or something?
Cindy, that was the weekend that Cindy was there. My internet's unstable.
Oh, in the canoe?
What
the
that? Yes.
We rode in Glenn's van. He took the car. He took the seats out of the van, and we went down to the lake in the back of that van, sitting on the floor. And Cindy, you were there, and
Yes.
yeah,
And we all held up our drinks.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was the same night. That was the same weekend I fell through the dock.
I remember. And your leg just went,
That went
blew up.
Yeah, I fell through the dock as we were leaving.
Yeah.
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 The canoe thing was the last thing before we left too. Because you want to get a picture of us on the, which was not the Wilkinson's canoe. You know, it was the neighbors that we just took from the neighbor's yard, if you remember.
I did not remember that. I did not.
We
Right.
borrowed that canoe.
Guess who went and got that? Glenn with.
Well, yeah. You didn't even have to ask that.
Shock.
Oh my gosh. I
It
did.
was across, there's a little slough between the house next door. He went across there and he brought that canoe and brought it over. It was not the Wilkinson's canoe. Oh,
That's funny. I totally forgot about that.
yeah, yeah.
Totally forgot. Oh my gosh.
That's a
This
great picture.
isn't, where'd you get this canoe? I was like, well, it's just right over there.
If it's on the lake, it belongs to everybody.
It's the lake canoe, right? Oh Lord, I wish we had this at the lake house still. That would be so fun to go to. We should all pitch in and get one.
Yeah,
What's better is to just rent one from somebody, and then we don't have the upkeep and all the extras.
Exactly. Of course, you
Yeah,
know,
you know, it's funny. I was thinking about this recently because that lake house has been gone for like 25 years.
wow.
You know, and so it's funny. I look at these pictures, and they were a long time ago. Long time ago.
It was
We could
sure
do one
was
on
fun.
Airbnb. That would be so fun. It'd be inexpensive. Just laying at the lake. It would be fun.
I don't know that they might not do that down there now. I don't know that was way against that. They couldn't have done that back in those days, but they might do that now. Who knows?
That the name of the lake was Hideaway Lake, right, Steve?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, maybe we'll figure it out. That sure would be fun.
I've got a friend that has just redone a lake house. George, is it on Cedar Creek? Brenda's
Yeah.
house?
Oh, that's where the Dyers and all those people had. Yeah, all those Corsicana people had their lake houses on Cedar Creek. Yeah.
And she's trying to rent it out or Airbnb or whatever. And that would be an easy one to do.
Okay.
That's
Let's do
cool.
that.
It's a
That'd be so fun.
little closer than Tyler, but it would. Yeah, but it's pretty down there. Yeah.
That'd be fun. I went with a bunch of girls, not a bunch of girls, 3 other girls, 4 of us together. We rented a place on Cedar Creek.
Oh,
It was
wasn't
in
that, was that recently?
Yeah, June or July, and it was a fabulous house. There were two
Yeah.
guys, two gay guys that owned the house, and then they bought the property next door, and they built the house that they wanted, and then they used the other one for rental. I'll send y'all pictures. It is a great house. But you know, your friend it might be better for us. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know how many bedrooms and bathrooms. That's the thing I haven't looked into. I was just
That-
looking at it and I thought, oh, this looks great because she remodeled it.
Yeah,
But
No.
for
And
all
that is kind of key. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
it is now, it used to
Now
not
it is,
be.
it used to not be, but now it is.
Well, hell, back then we didn't even have to have a bathroom.
I was like, what happened? But
I don't know.
Well, that lake house we had down there had two tiny bathrooms. It wasn't even, it was a different age. People didn't, you didn't have the big things you have now. So.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? I think there's something kind of charming about that. I mean, I just think it's a lake house. It's not a, I don't know. I think that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
One of the things about the lake house that I thought your dad was really brilliant in doing, if you remember, is there was a vanity in each bedroom with a sink, so that you didn't have like to brush your teeth and stuff. You could get out. If you just need to take a shower, you could get out, and somebody else could take a shower while
Yeah.
you brush your teeth and get
Each
dressed.
bed had a sink.
I had forgotten that. That was smart.
Different.
That was really smart.
No, it was.
Steve, how many bedrooms did that have?
Lucy, we kind of lost you there.
Oh, can you hear me?
uh,
Steve, how many bedrooms did you have in that house? How many bedrooms were at the lake house?
Three.
But then it had a den next to it. Didn't it have some sleeper, some rollways or something? There was something else to sleep on.
Oh, that's true. No, that's true. There were, one bedroom had a, I don't know, double or queen bed, the master bedroom. And then the other two had like two twins in each one. And then there were, yes, in the closet, a couple of rollaway fold out beds.
Because we slept quite a few people down there.
I was going to say 3 bedrooms. How do we do that?
what'd you
No,
say?
there was, yeah, we did that because when I was in college, I had a couple of get-togethers up there, and everybody just slept wherever. But the rollaways, and it wasn't a big deal. It was not a big thing, and I think they had a good time. I don't know.
Sure they did. I passed out many a time in that twin bed.
No, not you, Cindy.
I don't know. All I know is that the worst thing for me, and I don't know which get together this was, but I remember that, well, there was pot involved. There was pot involved.
Yes.
And I was upstairs, by the kitchen, right? And I was trying to get down to the bedroom, the sleeping area. And I didn't make it. I fell asleep at the top of the stairs.
On the landing?
No, not the landing, the top of the stairs. I only got like one step down. But let me tell you, I slept like a baby. It was fantastic.
Had the best night's sleep in quite a while.
Yeah, pretty much. I wish I could do that now.
Uh,
Well, that's,
Wouldn't say no to some of that now. So
we're not unique to that situation because my cousin Lynn, she and her husband have a lake house on Caddo Lake, and she calls it's an old fisherman's camp, and it's built up on stilts, and it's got like 2 bedrooms, and there's a day bed. Anyway, she said like, it was a July 4th. Her kids are grown. Her kids are like in their age we were when we were in their 20s, and one of them's Pierce is his name. She said, I went out there and Pierce had all his friends. She goes, the July 4th, she said, throw it in there. She had a big pot of jambalaya. I went in and she goes, there were people sleeping everywhere. She goes, Pierce was out in a hammock because he said there wasn't another place for him to find to sleep. And she said, I just said, here's a pot of jambalaya for you guys, and y'all had a good time. She goes, I just drove off. I didn't want to know.
no, that's the perfect response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the jambalaya. Knock yourselves out.
have a good time.
Steve, did your parents ever ask anything about us being up there or what we did or any of that?
I think they were happy you were using it.
Blessedly, they did not. Although there was one time when they showed up without being invited. And Frank, you were there.
God,
You
I
were
don't-
there.
Yeah, really.
Yes, you and me and like
Randy?
Paul Dean. And I don't know what the hell was going on, why they thought they needed to show up down there, but they did.
I don't remember that at all.
And they totally crashed the party. And it was like early on a Saturday morning, so we were like recuperating and having coffee and whatnot.
We were at least somewhat calm.
Huh?
We were calm then, if it was in the morning.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
not necessarily.
Yeah, no, we were calm, but Aunt Bird was in a caftan.
I do not remember that.
Oh my God.
Oh, I do. Oh my
How
God.
did your parents stay?
And you know what? They don't know. They showed up and did that and just kind of crashed the party and then they left. And that was the last thing that was ever said about it. They just never said another thing about it.
That's
Aunt
hilarious.
Bird in a captain. I do not remember that.
Oh yes, yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Did y'all ever meet, y'all know who we're talking about with Aunt Bird? Aunt Bird was a Jay friend of ours. His name was Jay Hilliard. So we called him Jay Bird, Aunt Bird. And he was a little older than us, not much. He was a school teacher. And he was like skinny thin. He was like Ichabod Crane looking kind of guy. Always dressed in polo and all this, but just as quaint as you could be. I mean, the captain is exactly what he'd be wearing. Isn't that right, Steve? I mean, the bird, Aunt Bird. Yeah. Oh, oh God.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. It was. I think we might have scared my parents off. I'm not sure.
But you know, that's a long drive down there for them to turn around.
They freaked out and left. They didn't care. You know, it's like, okay, the houses are burning down, but those guys,
Yeah.
we're not going to deal with. Yes.
Yeah. The house is still standing, so we're good.
Right. Yeah.
That house was so well built for entertaining for that. You know, it really was. It was a great house.
Oh, it was.
So much fun. So much fun.
So much fun.
Well, if we ever get to go again, all I want is Wilkinson Lake shrimp. You remember?
Oh,
Oh wait, what sort of what
It's
You-
got, well, it's like,
what was? Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
it's like shrimp that and I don't know whether you grill it or not, but I think it's in the oven and it's got all kinds, it's like got three
You know
sticks of
what?
butter or something.
Yes, it was kind of like that. That's so funny because
I've got the recipe.
you do.
I want it.
The recipe came from, it wasn't even my parents. It was the Stouts. It was their Louisiana shrimp.
So good. It's
So is
so-
it hot? Is it like barbecue shrimp?
It was there. It was
It
Mitzi.
definitely has spice in it. It has spices in it and butter. I just remember it had tons of butter.
Buckets of butter.
Yeah, buckets.
This is to me because I have a recipe that I use, and it's the same thing. You take shrimp and you do like 2 sticks of butter, and then cayenne pepper and pepper and some other garlic and stuff, and you
It was kind of like that. And then you
Yeah.
bake.
I love the recipe. Yeah.
And you bake it in the oven, right? Yeah. Yeah.
that would be so fun.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
We'll
was-
do
it
it.
was
We'll figure
good.
it out.
Yeah, and it wasn't hard. It wasn't even hard. It was just
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
dump all that stuff in there and bake it.
The other recipe from the lake that I've asked Lucy about that I've tried to redo is we did with angel hair pasta with caviar there, and it was
The
so-
what?
Angel hair pasta with caviar.
Oh,
And
wow.
black caviar on top of angel hair pasta. It was so good.
did we
We
do that at the lake though? I think we did it at Amherst Lake. We did it at the lake too?
It's lake, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's right. I think he's right. We did do it down there. That's so funny. I would never have thought of that. But yeah, I think we did.
So
Yeah.
for similar recipes, and it's probably the one I think I told you, Lucy, is basically it's a lemon butter sausage. butter and lemon juice.
Yeah.
And do that, and mix that with the pasta, and then you just do the clump of caviar on top, and that's basically
Yeah.
it. It's good.
Did I ever find the recipe for you, Frank?
No, you said you were gonna
I
look.
don't think I have. Kathleen may have it. I don't know if you asked her, but she may have it.
Because I
but
think
anyway.
it's simple, because the other recipes I've looked at are have a cream sauce, and I don't remember it having a cream sauce. I remember it being pretty simple.
Well, I just don't remember now. It's been too
You
Yeah.
know,
long.
I really want to go.
Oh, yeah. No cream, but like 2 pounds of butter.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That would be so fun.
Okay, well, we'll work on that. Frank, will you come to Dallas for it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't right now. I can't fly. I wouldn't fly, and if I came
Yeah.
right now, if I come to Texas, I have to quarantine myself for 14 days when I come home. 'Cause it's-
Yeah.
You know, that's why I can't visit boss. Because I got to quarantine myself when I come back for 14 days. Not that, I mean, I could, but you know, and I don't want to fly right now. But
Yeah.
I-
How's boss doing?
oh, he's fine. He's doing good. He's having a little trouble with breathing, but he's doing great. I mean, I think considering he's 91, I think he's in really good health.
It's amazing.
Ornery as hell, you know. So, you know, but
It's good, good, good. Good,
Yeah.
good, good.
did not get to New Mexico this summer, but and part of that was because you know if you went to New Mexico, you were supposed to quarantine yourself for 2 weeks, and he wasn't about to go up there and sit in the house for 2 weeks.
Right. You know, Howard has a place in Taos, and Todd and I usually go in the summer at least once, and we didn't go because you can't do it. Once you get there, you have to sit there for you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So we
I
just
wanted to do up there, and I just, you know, it just didn't work out. And then I wanted to go in the fall, and we talked about trying to go in the fall, going up there in the fall, you know, when the leaves were changing, but you know, it's just you can't. It's stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
next year. I'm hoping a year from now things will be better.
Keeping fingers crossed. I feel they will. I'm sure they will.
Yeah. We were talking last night on our brother's deal, and it's Rush is in Virginia because my niece Rebecca and Aaron, you know, they live in Falls Church outside of DC, and they got, you know, 4 kids, 3 of them in school, and I was amazed. Their online school are like they're in class. They have a teacher. They go from 7:30 to 2:30, and they have hourly class. They said the teacher switch. They stay on the computer and they do all this stuff. I was really impressed that they do all of that. But how they coordinate all that, I have no idea. And they gave each student in the school district gets a computer to use, which of course, you know, Fairfax County, Virginia is not particularly poor, but you know, still, you know.
Right.
Right. But it was really amazing to me that the online classes were actually like in class, and I think the students can see each other's students. I think it's like a Zoom. They can see each other, they can interact with each other and the teacher and all of that, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is that the way it is with Allison's? I mean, Lindsay? No, Allison's deal. Is she on like classroom type atmosphere?
George, you want to answer that? I was not paying
Well, yeah, well, right now there are 4 third grade teachers. And right now I don't know, I think one of them is starting to do all the virtual. And so Allison and two others are taking all the kids in 3rd grade and splitting them up. The other teacher who's got, I guess, MS issues,
Oh,
you know, and she's kind of immunocompromised. So she's going to take all the kids that are virtual. And I mean, yeah, it's running, you know, you're online. The kids there, I think start 7:40, 7:45 in the morning, and they're done at 3:10 in the afternoon. And
Yeah.
there's stuff online for them to do. You know, I mean, it's kind of funny. They'll do specials and go to art. You know, the kids online will do something art based, and you know, they've got a little thing for
And they
PE. And
need work too, that turn the kids, they turn stuff in right there too, don't they?
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff they do on the computer, she can see their work. And so, yeah,
It's
I mean,
amazing.
it's been hard teaching both ways. virtual and in class. But I think starting next week, she'll be in class only. And they'll have somebody else designated for the virtual. So she won't have to worry about that.
Because my young brother, Scott Kylie, his daughter, Tyler, my niece, she's a junior in high school in Washington State. And he said that the virtual classroom is only like noon to 3 or noon to 2:30. And the teachers just file this stuff and want the kids to kind of do it all their own and send it back to them. He goes,
Yeah.
she works, he goes, because she's a really good student. She spends all this time doing all this work, but he goes, there's no interaction with class, and I think that's terrible. And I said, well, of course they don't start till noon because the teachers are sleeping till noon, they're not getting up at 8 or 7:30, But
If you can pick, why would you?
So yeah, he said she actually is on the computer like from 12 to 2:30, and that's her class. That's her whole class, and the rest of the time it's stuff she has to do on her own and turn back in. And I think that's bad, I feel sorry for her. She's a junior in high school, and there's no social activities. She was she was one of those flag girls, for the football team, real big on that, and she has all these social things that she would do, and that's all gone away. They don't have any football. They're not doing any football or any of that stuff, any sports.
Yeah.
And be a junior can be worse if you're a senior, but it's really sad.
Yeah, I feel sorry. I really do feel sorry for the seniors from last spring when they were graduating, and then certainly this year. I can only hope that by the time spring rolls around that they'll be, will be closer to normal, and they'll be able to have some celebrations and some real, the experience of your senior year. But gosh, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine how it will be. I can't.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. They really missed such an important part,
It is. It is.
with everything,
Yeah.
just the whole
Yeah.
bit. So,
Yeah, you think about, you 12 years in school and it's your first time to really kind of celebrate, having, been in school for 12 years and, your friends and you're getting ready to all leave your little nest of, I don't know. It just is, I don't know.
hard, just really.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing that's
I hope they do a reunion in 2021 for
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
It
yeah.
won't be the same, but
But certainly that it deserving. Yeah.
The other thing that's interesting, my brother Ben, he's at Southwestern, which is out in Georgetown, college, or
Yeah.
university, and he said between it's a small school, it's like 1,500 students, for the university, but he said between the students and the faculty, there's like 1,800 people. They only have 3 people that have tested positive. All those students are in the dorm. They're all living in the dorms, and they've only had 3 people that have tested positive out of that.
that's amazing.
That is amazing.
I said that tells those kids are really conscientious. They're not out partying, obviously, with a bunch of people because they're obviously staying separated, I guess. Of course, my brother said it's not a cheap, it's a private school. Russ said, well, I'm sure their parents said, you better not go out there and party with what I'm paying for this college education. You better stay in.
Well, but having said that, just a couple of weeks ago, I saw on CNN of all things, like this was like national news, that the 2 colleges that they were featuring about having the most COVID-19 cases were number 1 with over 1,000 was Texas A&M.
Wow.
And number 2 with 700 and something was Baylor.
Wow.
So Baylor, I don't know what they're doing down there. I don't know because Baylor is a tiny fraction of the size of A&M, right? But they had 700 cases. And anyway, it's crazy. I don't know.
Well, I was impressed that they only had 3. I said, that's amazing,
No, it is. Well, that's great. That's the way it should be. That's exactly the way it should be.
So.
Yeah. And it's not like Baylor is a well-known party school. I don't know how these kids are catching all of that, but It's very strange. They didn't do something right, but anyway.
Yeah, that's
I
interesting.
just don't know, It'd be hard to be in college and not want to go party with a whole bunch of people. I mean,
Oh,
really,
That's
Yeah.
what it's all about.
no.
Yeah. Isn't that why we went?
Well, I don't, maybe, yeah, I don't know. But I don't recall there being, at least at Baylor when I was there, we had our little parties and whatnot, but it wasn't a party school, for heaven's sake. I mean,
No.
you had, it was a pretty straight-laced place. And so I don't know how those kids are catching things. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you that I went to Ole Miss and Cindy went to SMU. So, speaking for the two of us,
Right. That's, you're
Yeah,
on a whole different plane than we were down there in Waco.
I was gonna say, I went to Texas Tech. That was a party school,
another perfect example. I can tell you that by the time Todd got to Baylor, it was a party school.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep, and that was only, 6 years after us, so it didn't take long for it to filter down there. But I'm not saying it may not have been to the extent of what Ole Miss was, or SMU or whatever, or Tech, but it was, it definitely was. He talks about being party. Mm-hmm.
Well, then for sure they're all going to hell.
That's included.
They're all going to hell.
Yeah, I guarantee that's not the case. I guarantee that's not the case.
If they were not paying attention to Jesus right then, and they're going to hell.
Not the case. That's funny.
They're going out and drinking beer.
Yeah, for crying out loud. What are they thinking?
So anyway,
Funny. Too funny.
Yes,
So where's Bob?
Well, Bob was here last night for the brothers and the debate, and then my brother Rush is coming through here from Virginia on Saturday, and Bob was over here on Sunday or Monday, and so he took the
Had enough. Had enough. I get it. Had enough. It's okay.
So he'll catch up next time, I'm sure. So anyway,
That's funny.
yeah.
Okay, so I have to get off in pretty soon, right?
Well-
Like, by 6:30, but what?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all. I just have to go out to dinner, so I have to be off soon.
Well, me too. But can I share two things with you all before we hang up?
Yes.
One thing I was sad about this week, and one thing I've been happy about this week. And this sounds really silly, but the sad thing to me is Eddie Van Halen passing away.
Well,
Yeah.
He was awesome. He was awesome and did a lot of great music. And he was only 65, for crying out loud.
I know.
He was only 65, but he had throat cancer because he smoked and everything else. But who cares? It's too bad. It seems like too bad that he's gone. The other thing is that I was going to share with you all, because this just happened to me this morning. I do a meditation program every morning, a little short one. It's an app, and it's really cool. And it's funny how sometimes they're very short, little, like 10-minute things you do every morning. And it's amazing how frequently they match up with where you're at mentally. And so I'm not trying to be too serious. I'm just saying. And so one of the one I heard this morning, and this is, I mean this to share this in a really good way, is it because it applies to everything. It's a quote from some 13th century poet, and it was talking about how you communicate with people around you in the context with work, but I think it applies to everybody. And so will you bear with me while I tell you this little thing real quick? Because it's just three points. 3 points. And you may have heard them before because I realized I had somewhere back in the past. But so all it was saying was that before you say something or send an email or put something out there, that you put your thoughts through 3 gates. Is this ringing a bell with somebody?
Yes.
You know this? You
I
know
do.
this.
I
Okay,
do.
I thought somebody would.
So you
Okay,
do-
but I just thought it was so beautiful, and it really spoke to me today because it's like,
What?
before you do any of that, here's the 3 things. You go, is it true? Is it necessary? And is it kind?
Oh, okay.
And isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? I think because I kind of was doing that anyway, but I think that it's so good to hear that put out there. And so that's all I'm saying. And the only reason I'm doing it is because this was just this morning, and I thought that's going to get me through the day. And
I think that's great. I think that's
to
great.
keep that in my mind. Yeah. So you should, that's all I'm saying. I'm not telling
You
you.
know what? And you know, Steve, I'm glad you said that. And I think that it's so important with, you know, there's so many people that post so much on, Facebook and all that out of anger and all that. And so I totally agree. Is it
No.
true? Is it kind? Is it necessary?
That's why-
And most of the
that's-
time you're going to stop by at least the first one. And if not, the second or third.
I don't look at most of that stuff. I'm not even on Facebook, but yeah, online or just emails or just crap at work or whatever. You're pissed at somebody and you just need to sit back and just think about it.
Yeah.
And what I've always done is, even when I'm really, really mad at people at work or whatever, I don't send anything until the next day. I might compose it, but I don't send it till the next day, because you just have to, you know,
That's
let it.
I might write it out, but I try not to send it until the next day. Same thing, because usually if I send it, then the next day I'm like, oh, yeah, shouldn't have done that. Right. You know.
Yeah, and particularly in a work situation.
Yeah. And those are things you can't take back once it's in writing and sent. Yeah.
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 So anyway, okay, I wasn't trying to be
No, I think that's
Oh,
great.
that's really good.
Great.
really
Great.
serious. Just, I thought that was kind of uplifting and helpful. So, and like I said, it just stuck with me all day.
Very good.
If
Very,
you
very good.
you have any interest in doing little meditation things every day, you can get the Calm app,
I've
and
seen that. Calm.
it's really good.
Well, I'm going to send that to my father because I'm sick of getting this shit from him. He's so angry all the time.
Well, you know what? That's okay. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, maybe you should.
He needs to think about what he's sending, because he sends stuff. I get like 6 emails from him a day, and half of them are just hateful, horrible stuff about people. You know.
See, that doesn't help anybody. And
Don't be surprised, Frank, if you send it to him and nothing changes.
Oh, I know that. I know.
oh, good point. Yes, good point.
But it may or may not.
Yeah.
May or may
I
not.
realize he's 91 years old. You know.
He's 91. He's 91.
He told me, Ben said, he said, I believe every single email he sends. I said, well, he sends some kind of things that are kind of interesting, but a lot of them are just hateful stuff. Political stuff is so hateful and horrible. And I'm like, boss, you don't, you know, if I see it's bad, I'll delete it. But yeah, I mean, he needs to think about what he's doing, you know, but he's 91.
Well, you can think of a nice way to present that, and yeah.
Like you said, it probably won't change it, but that's all right.
Well, and you know, I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But if you phrase it, I think Steve's right. If you phrase it in, you know, this was helpful for me, and thought I'd just, you know, share it, and maybe send it to all the brothers and your dad. I don't know, so that's not quite so pointed at him. But
Yeah.
anyway,
You know,
all right. Love y'all so much.
We'll see you guys later.
Love you too.
Yeah, miss you guys.
It's good to see y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. Adios.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
Later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.